Okay. Meeting recording is now started. Welcome everybody, and we have a new face joining us. Gray Clover, welcome to the team. Um, do we want to fill Gray Clover in on everything going on, or have you had a chance to read over kind of all of the documentation that we do have at the moment? And do you have any questions?
Yeah, I did take a look at some of the brainstorming and level design stuff. I'd like a general idea of like what the game is generally just about and any reference material that I could kind of use to just piece my brain together as to what this game is supposed to look like and what
Yeah, for sure.
the yeah.
So it's like a side scroller with like different worlds, like if you think about say like a Mario, where like there's multiple worlds with levels in them, right? And and then has like a boss or whatever at the end of every world. The reason why for the reason for the different like time zones and stuff like that is because I mean Zeke could go more into detail about that because it's his thing or whatever, but um, I would say more it's based on like time gems and things like that. So if you think about like how Mega Man is set up, where you can get different power ups or beating different bosses throughout, they're not worlds, but levels or whatever. In this game, it would be you get different time gems, for going through those different worlds, and then of course there will be narrative and all that. But basically, different time gems will go to different worlds, and those will trigger those world events.
Correct.
So Zeke, if you want to elaborate more, give her a better idea. But that's kind of the outline I got, for the most part.
You did a great job. Uh, Basically, as you go through these different worlds and fight the bosses and enemies that are around the worlds, you are going to get a time gem, which will give you a certain ability of time control. It won't be like it automatically stop and rewind and all that stuff. Each gem has their own like different type of property of power. There's one for There's one for stopping time, the one for rewinding, one for fast forward, one to slow down, one to re- see a, see another character's past. Basically, it will see objects like show like hidden areas around the map and stuff. One
Mm.
to allow the player to predict what's going to happen to them, which is basically going to outline any attacks that are coming at the player for a certain amount of time. And one that has the longest duration, but also gives the player a short amount of invincibility. And as the player keeps on going, collecting these time gems, the main goal is to collect all of them. But once the player does, they get ambushed by the final boss, and the final boss starts stealing the time gem as they go into the last world, where it's basically what we call the Void Era, filled with all enemies, but not like bosses, just all the other classic enemies. And as they keep on fighting those enemies, they will go straight to the final boss where they will have to fight him while also trying to dismantle all of his new powers since he got all the time gems.
The replayability factor, the player can choose. Let's say they went through the game a certain way. Just another way, let's like Mega Man, in a way where you can restart the game and go to different time eras in a different order. So there's that, and then there's also a little within the levels. which is not really exist in my rough draft. But there's going to be different exits and different like little locations where the treasure will be. But there'll still be a main path, of course. But sometimes a few main paths, like in the space era. But yeah, when we have our game design meeting, we'll definitely look at all the documents and try to piece together. It's kind of hard getting thrown into a project like this. So good thing is we're still at the end of the pre-production phase. So you actually kind of came in thinking positively at a really good time when it comes to like we're not in the level design yet, but we are right there. So we can help you out as much as we can.
Got it. Okay.
Also, like we were thinking of, like we did come up with some generic side quests that you could do as you try to travel through each of these worlds, but we are still open for like more ideas for side quests at the time. But right now, we just focusing on trying to create the main path of the first level before tackling all that stuff.
Yeah, of course.
So, any questions?
Nope. Nothing I can think of right now.
Okay, though.
And if you always want to look, those documents I think are over in. Let me check which tab it might be in. It might be in the.
It's in the
I think he put in the time was the code.
Time was the code. Yeah.
Yeah, it's.
So it looks like all the documents are over there. So if you want to click into that tab, you can open it pretty much and look at all the different documents that are in there to get a better idea. If we didn't break it down enough. So.
And of course, I do have them open, so I can always have them for like review if I need to. So yeah.
But yeah, I think this game is definitely going to be a lot of fun, and I think that there was definitely a lot of thought that went into it, because when we first started about like a month and a half ago, 2 months ago, I don't think we were quite to the point of where we could openly talk about what the worlds are going to look like yet, or what enemies are going to be where. But I know Zeke and Cosmo have been putting in countless weekends, getting all that stuff put together, and Slayer over there doing all the getting the details into the typing it out in the game. I've been doing a lot of UI stuff, and so anyway, a lot of us have been busy doing stuff within the game, but at the same time, there's been a lot of planning that's been going into it as well. So. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like I have a great feeling we're gonna have a lot of your ideas. So we're still in the idea phase.
Yeah,
I mean, we have a
currently,
feeling how the game is gonna be, but yeah, you know what I mean. Like, yeah.
Yeah, currently I don't really have many ideas. Maybe I'll come up with more like as I like actually like do a little bit of work here and there. But like,
I totally wasn't trying to be like that, but I just meant along the way. We all will. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds good.
And,
Currently, me and Cosmo were. Oh, sorry. Were you about to say something, Slayer?
I was just gonna say all I've really done so far is a few miscellaneous blueprints and the enumerations for the different worlds and the enemies that go into those worlds, and the bosses and stuff. I am still trying to research how to do their stat blocks, but anyway, that's kind of where I'm at.
Sounds good. As long as there's some type of progress, I say that's always a good thing to hear. I was about to say that me and Cosmo were finishing up the first level rough drafts that we were creating, and Cosmo already has his in the chat, in the design chat. Which
and I kind of just explained that there's it's such a rough draft that the second and fourth level is going to be much bigger. I just kind of they're all the same size piece of paper, and they're just. I feel like I should make another like a better. But the whole point is it starts in the cavern, then it's the forest, and the lava, and then the forest, kind of, And then I wanted the item shop to be in the second level, but I have it typed there, I guess. What my notes are for the blah blah. I only had a few hours today to come up with something because of I've had this kind of pain all week, and I'm not trying to be a wussy. I tried doing things, but yeah. So this upcoming next week, I should get. Oh, by the way, should we have our Saturday meeting at 1 p.m.? Are you available then?
Oh, use that.
I'd have to definitely check, see
Cool.
how I am then.
Well,
Yeah, no
even
problem.
if not, I mean, it's not mandatory anyway. But
No.
you know, it's good if you can make it, because of course, it's any input is always appreciated. So, like anytime I can make it, I try to jump in. But they know I can't make it all the time. So, like if
Oh,
you find yourself
definitely.
Or
free on a
Sunday,
weekend or
or
whatever, yeah.
Yeah, and I know, like,
Oh.
as my schedule, like, definitely, like, becomes a little more and more complex as time goes on, because I have, like, a lot going on in terms of just, post-graduation life, trying to find any sort of job I can, and any sort of experience I can, which includes this. So,
right on.
Hey, Hassan,
mhm.
yeah, that sounds perfect. And if you ever, whenever you can meet when me was, you don't have to meet was during that time. But if you ever want to just meet with me, you can just message me and I'll just hop on.
For sure. Me too, if you want.
Yeah, of course.
Okay, so Cosmo, did you want to share off what you've been working on screen, or do you want
I
me
kind of
to?
explained points, and it's more like if you want, if if you want to look at it, yeah, I can
No, I'm
explain
reading.
something.
I'm reading what you have right now. I was just
Yeah, that's
wonder if
basically
you
what I
want.
wanted to say. Sorry.
Yeah, and I know you guys have like images, and there was actually something a fellow designer from my class actually let me know of with these like little level drawings here.
Mm-hmm.
Like if it's like a 2D level drawings, like there's actually a way in Unreal that you can actually put an image onto like a texture and then put it on like a huge block in the background and then just block it out based on that image that you have.
Yeah,
Just trace
I
it.
know what you're saying. Yeah, I haven't tried
Yes.
that, but that's probably a way to do it.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
I
we're
think
going.
I remember how to. I'd have to look back and see what he did. But otherwise, I could easily just like look it up. I'm sure there is a way of doing it.
Well, if you got a way of knowing how to do that and can pull it up sometime where I can actually like, record how you do it, that would be awesome. 'Cause that
Yeah.
would be like cool to learn how to do and see firsthand, you know.
Mhm.
Yeah, that would be a
So
cool thing to do. So whenever you have the time, just let us know.
Mhm.
So the only
Uh.
things I wanted to point out for the is level one. I just felt like, what if when you enter the world, like I'm gonna choose Jurassic World, then you're starting a cave, right? Well, I kind of thought, what if just drop the player, and then when you get to the bottom, then you kind of like, what? I don't know why. I just kind of like that idea. If you don't want that, that's cool. But I looked at the level design document while I was doing this, so I kind of added like when you see that a line with like it looks like a devil's tail. That's a vine. That's like a vine with spikes. Uh,
Got it. Okay.
and then the platforms that are going up and down, left and right, and all that stuff. So when you think about Jurassic World, how does that even exist? We're gonna have to figure out some way those platforms exist. Maybe there are rocks in the wall in the floor in the background. I don't know how we're gonna do it, but that's why it's just basic rough draft level design. I'm just going for how I'm going for picturing the Time Wizard Co. and how fun the player will have jumping and timing all this stuff. Mario slash Mega Man slash regular platformer type stuff, and I put some treasure chests around, and I moved the. There's gonna be an item shop in each world, but the player won't know exactly where it will be. Probably in the first or second quadrant or level. I mean, um, it's kind of funny that those pineapple-looking things, those are actually boulders, and in level 3 there's like falling boulders. So in level 4 is really blank because I need to go over something with Zeke on our next meeting. But so there's not too much to say about that. I just wanted to I just thought about like being the player and how much fun it would be where if things were here, things were there, and then we'll get to details later. And then level 2 and level 4 are actually a lot wider than it looks. And in level 2 with the forest with the trees, there's a lot of branches, a lot of like platforms that are like the branches form, and then the level design document. So like Zeke like created some sub goals, like maybe find the secret coin or something. So I have a secret coin level 2 there up in the trees, up in the top. Then
Mhm.
save the dominoes and stuff is in there. So that's about all I got.
Hey, it looks really good. And also, like I was thinking like, well, it would make sense to have flowing platforms. I mean, like, even if we don't have to make them make sense in like the narrative
Yeah.
sense, either way, like there's a wizard and there's magic. So why not
Yeah, and
have
it's
flowing
fun.
platforms?
That's what. Yeah. So for sure, that's all the rough draft is all about is fun and level kind of creation. But we can go. We can obviously enhance it and go. Uh, yep. That's why it's a rough draft. And then when it goes into Unreal, I'm picturing it a lot, not like a lot bigger, but just bigger enough where the player could have, let's just say, 1 full hour inside of a world if they go through all the levels, all 4 levels, do all the tasks. Maybe in a half hour. That's an hour is like a long time, but um, if that works, then that's like a 4 or 5 hour game. If you actually go really fast, and then 10 hour game if you. So I'm no, we're nowhere near thinking like that. I don't know why I had to talk
Mm.
about time, but anyway, I'm done talking. Ah! I don't know what that noise was.
All right.
I mean, it was
Well,
me, but that was weird.
okay. Well, I'll share mine. So I'll start off with the first level. I'm on level 300. Yeah, thought I was on the first one when I opened this. So just gotta switch it right quick.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry about that. Okay. So when I when I came up with the first level, I thought of it having 4 different exits that would lead the player into a new would lead the player into more different paths that level 2 will take.
Mm.
So the ones the ones that are like crossed out at the bottom are more like, I know it's hard to see to tell it like what color they are, but like the ones at the very bottom are just ones that are filled with zero gravity, which I thought would be an interesting kind of a mechanic for the player to try to traverse and fight enemies in. While there will
Got
be
it.
like,
Okay.
yeah, while the one above that is more of a dead zone. I was thinking of putting dead zones around the area. Like there will be sometimes where like if the player falls too far to the left or too far down, they will or up, they will instantly die because like that's more like where the dead zones are.
Yeah. So just
And
like a pit or whatever. Yeah.
yeah, basically what I was working on is more of the space levels where the
Got it.
player
Okay.
had, yeah, the player here is in the like a base depot space station as they trying to find their way to the shipping crates. So, well, shipping trams or shipping ships. But as they find their way to the shipping ships, they start going to this type of setting where each path will determine like what they're going to face. The first path is more like if you jump too high in a low gravity type of world, you're going to end up having to fall out into deep space and probably gonna die. So the player's gonna have to traverse the level while trying to jump too high, while also
Got it.
facing
Okay.
enemies and collecting these 3 gold coins or chips that will unlock the next portal that will send them straight to the next level. While the other
Mm.
path is more like they have to grab. onto these electric cables that will help them traverse the rest of the platforms. I know I didn't have enough room, but I was planning for more like some of these platforms will start moving and some of them will not, while also having enemies around to try to knock you down. And as and the third path is more like danger if you get caught in the light. As like have you ever played that Super Mario Galaxy level where like the gravity shifts if you like I think if you jump or if you like hit a button or something?
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
Yeah. It's kind of like that. So as you use your staff to shoot at different objects, well, shoot at these brown objects right here, it will start shifting the gravity so you can try to avoid the sunlight and not get yourself caught in it. Because if you get caught, you're just getting burnt.
Mm.
And the last one is basically the opposite of the first path, where if you fall down, you're going to end up in the dead zone. So you're trying to stay up, you're trying to keep yourself up in the air as you try to survive on these falling platforms filled with enemies. And then we go to the, and that's the wrong thing. That was my mock interview. I'm sorry.
Nah, you good.
Is this one? This is the third level, where the goal is you start at the top. You can either go to the shop or you go downwards. And I figured that it would be better. It would be also cool since like this is supposed to be the Mercury space station. That you will also have to avoid the sun, while also have to use your time powers to fix one of these teleporters. That's what these little yellow ones are.
Mm.
If you fix the teleporter, it will let you go into the command base where this little T is, where is a console that will start a little mini game. Me and Cosmo came up with like some mini bosses that you can also fight. Each one has like a different way you have to fight them. And for the mini bosses of space level, you fight them as if you're trying to fight in a I'll say like a not like an asteroid type feel or more of a Galaga type feel.
Okay, got it. Okay.
Yeah. And then after you defeat the boss, but if you that's only if you like complete all the tasks. These red circles are basically some key cards that some special enemies will hold on to, and they need it, and you will need it to actually unlock that portal. But if you can't do that, you have the other option of just going down onto the elevator where it's just gonna be like an elevator battle simulation, whereas you keep going down, there gonna be enemies coming after you. But that won't mean you can get back up though. The whole goal of this level is to get all the way down so you can get to the portal, which is gonna send you to the last level. Where the twin bosses are all the way at the top waiting for you to fight you. And there will be like moving platforms with this. I'm thinking of having some more traps. And at the bottom right, I was thinking of like a special event. Like one of the quests that we came up with was like find the remains of. Uh, sorry, I got a phone call. I'll be right back. I'm sorry,
No, all
everybody.
good. All good.
It's all good. So I posted enemy details just in case you didn't look at it, but
Okay, got
a
it.
lot. Yeah,
Oh
I
wow.
think me and him spent like 2 or 3 meetings. I forgot how many, but we went like a few hours every weekend going through like, and you can see the comments in within them, and we have some funny comments in there somewhere. But yeah, they're all details.
Yeah,
Like a
I'm
bunch of
back.
different elemental stuff too. Cool.
Right.
Glad
Yeah.
you like it. I love that stuff. I've actually my like I know I'm like in school right now, but my main thing is I've been making RPGs for 20 years with making systems and stuff and board games and card games. But without that experience, I'm like just a year in college. I'm a student. I'm learning more. Probably not where you and Zeke are as far as in college, but I'm getting there.
Of
I think
course,
you
like
did a good
always
job.
opportunities to learn.
Oh yeah, yeah, I love that. I love that passion and motivation. And one thing I want to say is that I just want to bring it up that I'm actually part of a gaming group that we do charity speedrun events every year. If you're interested in joining, anyone's welcome.
Cool.
Do you want me to give you like a private message?
Yeah, sure.
Or actually, I can just put it in DM in the chat here. Anyone can
Oh,
join.
yeah.
All right,
Yeah, and I just got back. Sorry.
welcome back.
Nice.
So yeah, basically the boss in this game, in this level, is basically called. There's two of them, which I call the twin bosses, but their real names are like Mila the Foreboding, and I literally got to pull it up. I should know it off the back of my hand.
Hold on.
Sorry about that.
Let me pull it up again.
Thank you.
Class details. So we have for this level, there's Mila the Comnova and Zoral the
Zoral the
Zoral the
Foreboding.
Foreboding Storm.
Okay, yeah, those are the two bosses for the space level. Yes. Sorry again that I forgot that out of the top of my head, even though I can. They are supposed to work like this. The time gem they hold on to is the invincible gem. And so one always passes off to the other one when the other one's taking too much damage from you. You have the option of knocking it out their hands, but you got to fight against their combination attacks. Which I felt will be like an interesting type of battle situation with these aliens.
Mm.
So, do you got any questions?
Trying to think, but no, not that I currently know of, but yeah, I definitely can take a look here. I'm not really like super like good at like programming AI or anything, so I mean I think I could do very basic stuff, but it's like I'm just looking at all these enemies and going like and just thinking about just how they would fit into like every level and just the spaciousness of everything, because a lot of balancing stuff is just stuff I'm thinking about, but that's like way down the line.
Yeah, we have programmers, and I think Gray. I don't know how it's gonna go, but I feel like you're on the you're with me and Zeke as far as like level design, UI, UX design. Is that where you? Okay.
Yeah, just prototyping level block.
Yeah, I mean, we can all program. I'm just saying. I don't think you got to worry about like like I don't know how to do advanced programming, so yeah.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm learning it right now in class.
We're all friends here, and we'll all help each other out, and getting the passion will keep us going, and we'll get to this awesome game. And is that Glaceon?
Oh,
What?
Is what?
Oh,
That's not Glaceon. That's that.
Looks
that's
like
that
Glaceon,
ice,
though.
That's that ice. Pal from Power World.
Oh no.
Chill it. Yeah.
It's all good. I heard it's a good game.
Yeah, it's great.
Alright,
I mean, I love Pokemon, never played Power
gonna,
World, but I've heard good things.
just real quick, since I have it pulled up, I can kind of showcase where the UI UX stuff is at currently, because I mean, you guys have probably seen the UI UX tab where I'm at, but
yeah.
I haven't really showcased anything on the meetings ever, so if you guys are
So
cool
far,
with that.
Dan's the one that's been helping with a lot.
Go ahead.
Thanks again, Dan, for helping us with that.
Alright, let's take a look.
All right, so as you can see, this shop guy, there's a little sphere collision around him. Anytime the player hits that, they're supposed to be able to press 3 to interact, and then the menu's supposed to open. But when I press play and I go in there, you'll see that I can come over here. I press 3, like nothing happens. So,
From what I was able to see, are you sure the sphere is big enough to actually overlap the player? Like, let's test it. Like, let's see if we could like just make it bigger. Like it. Like just
see,
like
look at how
like,
big that is. It's like covering the whole platform, though. Just
Oh
about.
yeah, that's what I'm seeing. Huh. I mean, sometimes sphere collisions can get a little bit weird, which is why I've always used box collisions, personally.
Now, on this is how I set it up. I did the open widget. It's a custom event. I open up the widget, which would be the shop level 1. Let me pull that up real quick.
Is that keybind connected to the player character, though?
Yes, it is, and I'll show you that in a second. So let's see here. Shop level 1. So this is what pops up, or should pop up. Once I shop level 1. That's what this is. This should pop up when I press 3, and then the shop list widget is the actual list there that pops up. You know what? I don't know if I need this, but anyway, I add that to my viewport, and then this is the part where it allows me to move my mouse around, set it to the UI only, which means the user interface, if you don't know what UI. And then the shop list widget would be this. So maybe if I took this out, here, I'm gonna try that real quick. Let's see. See if that maybe fixes the problem. I don't think it will, but
yeah.
You have to add it.
yeah, it still didn't fix the problem. But anyway, so basically the shop list widget should be like an item list or whatever. So I don't know, maybe I'll gotta go back and fix that. And then the second part down here, I'm gonna add later. I only did it partially. I put my comments in here, but basically once I add currency, this trigger box, the actor is equal to, so the character is equal to, and then if it's true, then I get my character, it's valid, and then I set visibility to visible, which would be your money. But right now I don't have money created, so that's why I have a comment here. And then once I'm done with the end overlap, then I get the reference to the money widget. Instead of having it visible, I set it back to hidden again, so it disappears from the screen once the player goes back to regular game. So, I mean, I got an idea of what I want to do. It's just not quite panning out like I want it yet. And then here's on the player. When I press 3, because I see on the trader guy, that's the one I put was 3. So this is now our main character, this guy. So when I press 3 for each loop, every time I do it, I get the overlapping actor, which is the character, and cast it to the character, to the trader. And then I open the widget, which is this event here. And when I open the widget, it should open this screen. And for whatever reason, it's not. I don't know why, but...
Hey Dan, go back to the level real quick and give me kind of a side view of where the shop guy is at real quick. I want to test something. Okay.
Are you thinking that it's just not hitting the overlap?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I know sphere collisions can be pretty weird with that, because I have experienced that before, but once I replace the sphere with a box collision, it seems to work just fine.
Okay, so should I switch that out, you think?
That's what I'm thinking, yeah.
That's worked for me too before.
Alright, so all I'd have to do is just, let's see here. All I'd have to do is just redo this part, the events here. We plug in that stuff, which is no big deal. Okay. All right, so let's go ahead and delete this. All right, and then on the mesh, add a box collision, and then trigger. Alright, so as you can see, just replace the old collision. Now, next thing is, this isn't really going to work, so now I've got to readjust this. Alright,
Yeah,
so,
which isn't a big deal.
Yeah.
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 So, how far do I need to put it? Let's see, box extent. Nope. That's not it. Let's see. Probably 200, 300 maybe. Just to make sure, you know. No, that's a little bit too much. Let's see, 200.
I would just
maybe
do it massive right now just to test.
Yeah, not that high, I know. So yeah, that should work.
That should work.
Okay. You can always adjust it later, but you can see how far it goes. Yeah, still nothing.
Weird.
So yeah, I'm not sure what's causing it, but I mean, you guys can see that the logic should be right. It's just, I don't know, for whatever reason it's not working like it should.
Maybe you could try creating like another collision that appears when it's like in front of an interactable object, and then press that button to like start interacting with it.
So, real quick, go ahead and grab everything off of the key 3. Grab everything off key 3. Yep, everything. And just move it to the right.
Okay.
And then off of, just go ahead and grab it all. And then move it to the right. And then off of pressed, just do a print string. See if it's even calling it. I mean, you can just leave it as hello, that's fine. But you want to make sure that it's calling it. Because if it's not calling it, then something's wrong.
Yeah, that's what it is.
There
Not
you go.
calling it.
It's not.
So,
Yeah.
with that, there is some inconsistency between the trader and the player. That's your
And I'm
issue.
not sure exactly what, but
So, let's see.
Wait, does that say debug key 3?
yeah.
Yeah.
But even when I change this over to 3, it doesn't make a difference. I've tried that too.
Yeah. The debug key, it's literally the same as using key 3. The only difference is that it's called debug so that you know to replace that specific event. That's the only difference. It works exactly the same. How about this, Dan? Me and you can sit down one of these days and we can see about going over it, because I think I know the issue, but I don't want to take up the entire meeting.
Yeah. Okay.
Sound good?
And then so that was that, and then just a quick rundown of like I might need to interchange these things for the levels, but this is kind of what I did for the shop list. So you see I have 3 different buttons. When I hit protection, it'll bring me to one menu, item to another one, battle to another, and I have different screens for each one. And then the next one would be clicking one of these to bring you to another screen, pretty much. So,
And are you just changing the visibility?
protection. So if I hit protection, then you'll see I have item and battle here. And then I got item. I can go back to protection, or I can go to the battle screen. And then if I go to the battle, then I can go back to the item screen. Or I can go back to the protection. And basically, whenever I'm done at the end, then I have a back button down here, you can see. And the reason why I have just a text on here, just to give you an idea, is because when I was looking over the documents that Zeke and Cosmo sent me, it kind of gave me an idea of what they'd like in there as purchasable items, but I don't have any currency yet, so I kind of put it in as a placeholder to kind of tell me what's going to go there. And then same with all these are all going to be buttons eventually with like values next to them and then currency up here in the corner and all that stuff. But I haven't quite got that far yet.
Yeah, got it.
So anyway, that's the shop guy with the different widgets. Now, one other thing, let's see, we kind of got a pause menu set up with our genuine thing like the main menu and parts of the main menu set up, but not quite super far yet. So let's see. And then our HUD. This is our HUD. This is the way that Zeke wanted it set up. So health, I think this was magic, and then stamina or something. Yeah. And then if we have lives, coins, and then a key item that we pick up, what the timer looks like and the level, and then objective if we have one. So, so we got those in there on the HUD. And let's see, maps. Let's see. All right, so just real quick, this is the main menu. There's going to be the fonts are going to be subject to change, but this is the splash screen, and then we got a broken clock, which at the end of the game when we get done, this will update to like a fixed clock, pretty much. And then we have our different menus, options, very in depth. You know, like I can actually change these options, and then I can apply settings. If I want to go to the different menus, I can do that. As you can see, I mean, I still got to update them. Then when I come back to the options and I hit back, and it brings me back here. Credits, we'll have our rolling credits of our team. And then quit game, yes or no. So as you can see, a pretty good functioning main menu. There's still some stuff that needs to be done to it, but I mean, it's at least got a good start to it. So yeah, that's
I put the items in the chat too for you, Gray.
That's a pretty rundown of the HUD stuff so far, or not just the HUD, but the UI UX stuff so far. So.
Got it. Okay.
I do want to mention a couple things about UI and progression from the main menu into the actual levels, if you guys don't mind.
Okay.
No? Okay. Like nobody answered. Okay, so Dan, one thing I want you to look into when it comes to UI UX is called widget switcher. It is very
I know
useful.
exactly what it is. Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So I would suggest using widget switchers instead of hiding, doing visibility, just because yes, hiding it, but technically it's still on the screen.
Yeah, I didn't know it existed.
Yep. So it still does exist, and it still will be running in the background.
No, I mean the thing. I didn't know you're the new. Yeah. Keep going.
You're good. So, yeah, I would highly suggest looking into widget switchers. It would also come in very handy with the next topic I'm going to go into, and that is level streaming. So in order to cut down on latency and just better optimization, especially for mobile, is going to be level streaming. And you have one game mode that persists through every single level. And the only way to do that is with level streaming. So I would highly recommend looking into that. It's very useful. And it also makes it to where you can actually have what they call a true loading screen, where it will load everything and then put the player in. So it'll compile the shaders, everything, and then it will load or put the player in the level. And before that, it'll just be at the loading screen. So when you play like AAA games where it has the loading bar with the loading screen, that's exactly what it is level streaming, and that bar is accurate to how much is being loaded, or how much is already being loaded into that level that you're going into. Without it, you have to put a delay and guess basically, and hope that everything's loaded. The issue with that is everybody's technology is different. I mean, if you're going from like, early Android to modern, I mean, hell, even just like 3-4 years, there's a massive difference in load times and things like that. So really look into the level streaming with the what's it called? Widget switchers. Yeah. So that's my spiel.
I'm still learning about widget switchers, but I mean, I have a general idea on how those work now. I mean, I'm just before you've talked about it, probably in the last like 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, I've been learning about how to use those, and by clicking one button and it be on the same screen pretty much without it going to a different screen. So I see the importance behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. One of the key things with the widget switcher is when, say, you hit the settings menu, it actually fully unloads the main menu and loads up the settings menu. And then when you hit apply to go back to the main menu, it unloads that settings menu fully and loads in the main menu. That's the difference between the visibility and the widget switcher. Widget switcher is so much more optimized, and it's extremely useful for mobile.
And then another question is, I don't really know much about the other one you were talking about yet, level streaming. So I don't know if you want to, like, sometime go in depth with me, like do a sit-down meeting sometime, go over that stuff with me so I can get a better idea of what that is, because I have no idea.
So that's going to be the programmer side and the level designer side. I mean, I can, but yeah, I'm just letting you know it's more like the programmer side, because it's programming that does the level streaming, and then it's the level designers that would be like, okay, these levels are in this order, and then in between, like unloading one level to loading into the other one, you can load into a cinematic first, and then you can load that level, or you can start loading the level while you're playing that cinematic. It's just things like that. It makes things 10 times easier and smoother.
So kind of like like a Grand Theft Auto loading screen where they have the pictures go from picture to picture, or like an Assassin's Creed where you can run around in the Animus before the game loads.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of like those. Okay.
Yep.
And I've been curious how to do that for a while, but I'm just not savvy enough to be like, oh yeah, hey, I can do that comfortably, because I haven't done it before.
No, I totally get you. And like I said, it's more of a programming aspect than a UI UX.
The only one that I can say that I do know for sure how to do is having different images pop up like each time as a loading screen. Like, say if I wanted to have 8 or 10 different images pop up, but all just like one at a time for a loading screen, that is like a randomizer, so to speak. And every time that I hit load game, that a different image pops up. I can do that, but I don't know how to do the image with the rotation yet. I don't know how to do that. So.
Yeah, no, I mean, it's... Wait, are you talking like the Throbber?
No. I'm talking like, say you set up an event where, like, on each time you press play and like say if I press new game and then the game was loading, right? Or if you hit load game and the game was loading, then each time the load game screen was going, then it would be a different loading screen. It wouldn't be the same one each time. It'd be a different one each time. Like just one image, but
I mean that's
just
just having an array of loading screens.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's all that is. And then you can do a a get or get a copy from that array, and then throw that array into a loop with a index or int in range. And then your range max would be, the array. And then it would randomly grab one every single time you load in.
Right. So that's the only one that I really am familiar with. The others, and I do need to learn them. I mean, I just haven't quite got to that point yet.
Okay.
But I'm willing to sit down sometime. If you're willing to show me how, then I'm willing to learn. So
I'll do what I can. I'm still learning UI UX myself. It's a pain in the ass, but I absolutely love it. So hell, we can learn together.
And I mean, there is some stuff that I picked up over my time with UI UX stuff, but at the same time, there's still plenty to learn, So I'm not going to sit here and say I know all the tips and tricks yet,
Totally get it.
But yeah, learning the stuff as we go is important, because it's experience, right? So
yeah, 100%.
So I love that.
All right, y'all can continue.
I actually don't know.
That's all my spiel for today. I hadn't really shared any of that stuff at all on any of the meetings until today. So.
Okay.
Actually, while I am thinking about it, I should show you guys what I am working on in the project in Unreal.
Okay.
Or what I've worked on so far that I'm trying to add to.
Sweet.
The time is 7:00 p.m.
Cosmo, what were you saying? Before? Bueller?
I honestly don't know the answer.
Well, shit.
That answer is gone.
Alright. Oh! Completely fucking random. Sorry, Slayer, I have to show you guys. Hang on. I know, I'm sorry. It'll take 2 seconds.
Sorry, but I'm sure it's gonna be awesome.
Man, you are killing me, Smalls.
Okay.
Come on, man.
So, the other day, my wife had to go downstate, and he decided to come back. You might see my face. Yep, there it is. Okay, hang on.
What is that?
Are those rats?
Are those?
They are rad.
Oh.
Your family?
So
Super
this one
cool.
over here is Snowy, and this one here is Cookie.
Hey, Cookie. Hey, Snowy.
Yeah. My kids
My cat
absolutely
Koopa
love
would-
them.
No joke, my cat Koopa would actually be friends with them. You're supposed
Yeah,
to
no.
them, Koopa.
My kids absolutely love them, and they were laughing at me today because I took Snowy out, and as I'm holding her, she shit on my hand, and my daughter started laughing at me.
Okay, so
Anywho, go ahead.
My cat can hear all of you. I don't know why that sounded like a threat.
anyway,
fuck.
what I've worked on so far is I've got blueprints for objects and things. So we've got a rock blueprint that doesn't have a material or a mesh on it yet. We've got this sword merge blueprint, but that's for something later. We've got the time gem test blueprint, and then we've got all these enumerations that I made. So we've got the common enemies for the cyberpunk. We've got the common enemies for the industrial. And I basically did common enemies for everything. And then I also did final boss and level bosses for the different worlds, and the mid-game boss and the mini bosses for all the worlds. So just to give you an idea of how big some of these are, this is the biggest enum I've created so far. So this is for the void level, and it has literally every common enemy that was ever used in any level before it. So we've got 62 or 63 in total here, just in this enum alone. It took me a while just for this one. So yeah, it's a lot.
So, what is the purpose of the enums? Like, how are they going to be used?
So I will have to look into it more, but my thought process was to create structs for the stat blocks for all of the enemies, including the final boss and the mid-game boss, and then connect the struts to the enums and have each enemy in the enum be attached to the information that they need for this specific struct that it's pulling from for the stat block. I like I said, I have to do more research into it and see if there might be a better way to do it, but my thing was I was trying to keep things organized so that I didn't overload my brain and like, okay, what goes where and how does this all tie in together. I felt like this would make it easier in the long run for the different worlds and the different levels, for like the common enemies, the level bosses, and the mini bosses. That way I can add the stat blocks as needed to whatever specific enemy they're supposed to go to. If that makes any sense. I know that was kind of convoluted.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Yeah, to
I
me
just
that
want to
makes
make
sense
sure.
too, yeah. Yeah.
Cool beans, beans that are cool.
Yeah. So that's basically what I've been trying to work on, but I still have to do.
All right, well, I'm gonna go ahead and jump out, but once you're all set up, Grace, feel free to hit me up and we can talk UI stuff. And Brian, if
Mm.
you have time as well to jump in with us at some point to do that, that'd be cool too. But that's if you got the time and all that, because I know you got your own studio stuff to run. But
Yeah. Yeah, just honestly, man, just let me know. Typically, any day after like 7 o'clock EST, I'm good.
okay.
Yeah, I'll
The
have
only
to
day,
see.
Time?
huh?
You said after 7 Eastern time?
Yeah, except Saturday. I have a big like 3 hour meeting, so that can be a no go on Saturday. But any other day, I'm cool.
All right, yeah. Well, we can try to figure something out once Grace is all set up, and we can figure out what could work and whatnot. But yeah, I've been just kind of trying to fill in the gap because they didn't really have a UI UX person, so I was like, okay, well, I'm just gonna go ahead and get started, and that's kind of how that stuff just over the last number of weeks has started to come together. Just doing that while just having something to do. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, I mean, as long as I'm able to do like just certain stuff just to gain any sort of experience, like that'd be fantastic. I mean, I don't know like what's ahead of me on the line here, but just being able to look into projects, look at like I know this is gonna sound weird, but just gaze into other people's minds, but like for just different ideas. Like again, I don't know like what's going on, but I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be a part of this team. I hope I'm able to do even the smallest contributions, like whatever helps, really.
That's awesome. You're in the right place, and that didn't sound weird at all. You're in the so, yeah.
Yeah, as long as you're willing to jump in and contribute, then you're in the right spot.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
All right, well, I will catch you guys later. I have to get ready for my night shift, so I will catch up with you guys. You guys have a good night.
Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Man.
All right.
Keeps running into the kitchen like he needs something.
I think I gotta
Uh,
hop out here pretty soon.
Yeah,
but maybe
I was
on
just saying I gotta go.
Saturday.
Yeah,
On
me
Saturday, I might hop in and see if I can get access to like the project files and everything, just to get help set up. It was a good like introductory thing for me, but yeah, I'll let you guys know my availability on Saturday. Most likely, it's gonna be either sometime in the evening or like early evening. I'd say around like 5 or 6 would be better, but if it has to go late, then I'll see what I can do, if that's all right.
Okay.
All right.
Real quick, Gray,
Yeah.
are you the Veronica that I know
Honey, I swear to God.
on LinkedIn?
No, my name's Grace.
Oh, okay. Swear there was a Veronica that came in to the studio.
Which makes sense because of your name now.
Yeah.
Answer them text.
Wasn't there a Veronica that came into the studio?
The end of my meeting. What?
I don't know. I'm going nuts. I didn't have my meds today.
I'm just trying to think. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Should we ask Callie if she has anything for us?
Okay, give me a few minutes, and I'll be free to help you with all of that.
Or are we gonna call it? We're calling it.
Yeah. I don't know about. I'll see you guys.
Okay, have a good night,
Alright,
guys.
see you guys.
Later, guys.
Yeah, we'll talk soon.
Everything
Mhm.
else.
I'll keep you guys posted.
All right.
No rush. Take your yeah, we're all chill, and if you need any help, let me know. And nice to meet you again. And I hope everyone here has a good night.
Yep.
Yeah.
Later.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
Okay, I take
Yeah,
it
what's
that
that?
is the end of the meeting then. Sorry,
I'm guessing. So.
yeah, sorry, all right. Then I will stop the recording then.